And welcome back. Looking to run Iggy locally for a dev environment setup. Says that configuration can be found in the server.toml file in the configs directory. Let's grab that. Copy raw file. Let's see. Key secret, bucket, region. No, no, no. How do we turn that off? We need that, don't we? No, no, we're going to use. Oh, is it gRPC or TCP? I forget. Click. It's a TCP alternative. Cores goes away. Okay, don't need that. Mm, TLS TCP false. Click. Here we go. True. Good. 8080. Maybe not. I don't know. 50/50. There we go. Initial MTU. Keep alive. Oh, interesting. Max idle time before quick connection is closed. We should be able to keep this open for a very long time. Let's say it's 10 minutes. What's a message cleaner? Hmm. Maximum number of active tokens allowed per user. Okay. This port is wrong, isn't it? It just doesn't look right. It should be 4317 and 4318. Now, was there a path other than just partitions? I don't remember seeing one. Where does it want this? Oh, here. Data archive. And these are the defaults. Okay, we do not have these. Let's see if we can just start it. Start a. Let's see what it whines about. It's not as performant as TCP. Interesting. Hmm. Let's just use TCP then. All right. Okay, let's leave TLS off. True. Defaults. Whether to override the OAuth default socket parameters. Yes. That seems reasonable. I think the default SO linger is 30 seconds. Really? Oh, that's right. That's right. I went here. I did an install. Is it in server? Must be. Let's bump the font on this. There. And bump that up one. Come on, server. You can do it. Oh, I should pour some tea. Yeah, I'm still a bit groggy today. Darn feline woke me up. I have trouble getting back to sleep when it's, I don't know, I've had like 6 hours of sleep. Something wakes you. All right. Come on, Iggy. All right. Well, that's cooking. What else? Token. Iggy server personal access token. Interesting. It's like all of the config options are here too. Log in, log out. How do we just run a server? Ping a server. Oh, this is a CLI for Iggy message streaming. Okay. Oh, it's called Iggy server. Was there also a CLI? There is. Okay. Ah, well, we just ran it and it seemed okay. Iggy server. Let's see. Uh, let's make a little directory for Iggy configs. Is it plural? It is plural. Server.toml, is that what it looks for? Yes. Okay. Iggy server found config, good. Cache size, blah, blah, blah. Okay. No users found, creating the root user. All right. Let's put that over here. Data archive building, good. Oh, it didn't blow up yet. I guess that's positive. Nice. Okay. Now data archive, we haven't updated that. Why is it logging here? Yes, we are using the new configs. Okay. It is the only thing that's dumping to the console. Well, I guess here, but that doesn't count. That's just the notes app. All right. So we have 3 applications running. It's our notes example. We haven't seen that in a long time. Data plane 1, 2, and 3 are running. We run data plane for each of the example apps, and then we run data archive and proxy. Cluster isn't really happening at the moment. Okay, we'll leave that at the bottom. Yes, Iggy. So why is this dumping to console and nothing else is? What about data plane? CLI. What do we have here? Buyer, yes, CLI. Same config and setup. Oh, it's not. Here we have telemetry in it. Okay. Data plane, data. Hey, fair bro. How are ya? So this font here, I think it's the default that comes with Ghost TTY. Yeah. Sorry, my stream bot is long dead. I should have updated those commands. Well, welcome. I'm using Ghost TTY with Helix, and that's it. So nothing really fancy. The theme is Challenger Deep. I just did a vertical split using Ghost TTY. Let's come back here. Let's just grab the code. This. Come back to lib. Telemetry and knit staff. Oh, okay. Interesting. It already exists. Expected buyer telemetry error. Really? Telemetry and knit returns buyer telemetry error. Okay. There we go. Fix that. Let's see if we have more on our command line. Now we have data plane dumping to. Nice. It's going to get a bit chatty though. Let's maybe put that in its own tab. Okay. Dojo Drummer, good morning. How are you? Happy Tuesday. It is a bit early for me. Okay. I think some of this stuff we will need to silence. Calculating checksums. Good. Interesting. Is this the thread? It must be the thread. Okay. Hmm. It's connecting to port 7000, which should be data archive. Well, it's kind of neat that it's doing that. Our mutation channel. Sync manager. Okay, we haven't looked at this in forever. Okay, but it is connecting, and this isn't really. Do we want to clean this up today? I was really thinking about looking at the VFS. Yep. I want a terminal that gets out of my way, supports true color and ligatures. I can deal with a little slowness. For me, it's really, you know, how in my face is it? More than Xenocron. Fire. Early streamed. Oh yes, it's my cat's fault. Everything shut down just fine. Oh, I saw some errors up there. For data plane. Okay, it's fine. It's not causing it to die though. I wonder why. Tonic status error, status unknown. I think it tried to start up too early. Data plane needs data archive running. Yeah, let's put that up at the top of the list. That still happened. It's fine, it'll reconnect. Okay. And now we have our app info. Oh, this is nice. Okay. Now, out of curiosity, how can we configure these? Let's look at, what's happening at the bottom here? We have some SQL statements, not entirely against those. Seem reasonable. What about these, though? Do we want to see H2? Not really. Let's look at data plane. Here, console level. Go with H2 at info. Oh, I should have fixed that. You're sure the cat is just encouraging me to stream more? I've actually been a little under the weather, so I've been trying to get some extra rest. But what do you do when it's pitch dark outside and the world is quiet? You stream. These things aren't even on at the moment. I don't have a collector here. Okay, run again. Is that any better? We're getting a little bit. Let's see, we do have this OpenTelemetry SDK. Do we really need to see that? No. Not until we start to really dig into that. What else? Tower, tonic, hyper for data plane. Maybe I should say everything is info unless I see otherwise. Hey, Scott B. You're on your final project in your Rust course. Oh, nice. And which course were you doing? Let's also set up the configs for data archive. Hmm, that's not it. There's only one. Let's see, notes. Let's get that one too. It doesn't do that, does it? Beginning Rust by Jason Lennon on Udemy. Oh, nice. 11 and a half hours of Rust. Nice. How do you feel that went for you? Do you think it, what's the target audience for it? Kind of beginners, people with programming experience? Let's see if that's actually called notes. That's three. Did I get this one? Not this one. Beginners or little programming experience. Nice. And it's 17 bucks. Oh, one day left at this price. Hmm. Normally it goes for 80. Okay, so you have some electronics background? Maybe we should have gone for worn. Yeah, that's fine. We don't have a consumer for those. Okay, so everything started up. Hmm, it's tolerable. Okay, now let's set this up to restart automatically. Cargo launch, just run. Oh, wait, what? Every time, what was it doing? It made a change, and Cargo saw it. Interesting. Oh, anyhow, it goes on sale a bunch. He lectures, then demos, and then gives you an assignment for each keyword. Nice. Interesting. Does it get into topics like async? And fair, bro. Thank you for the follow. Rudy Shoes learns Zig when? Uh, there's too much for us to learn. I've heard some great things about Zig. Seems like a solid language. Okay, so we've mostly gotten the dev environment up to snuff. Mostly. Let's add that there. 50, that's not even right. It's 5090 or something. Okay. This though, this can be stored. That's good. Oh, look at this. We have logs for Iggy. Current config. Interesting. Okay. State. I think all we want in here is server.toml. Let's add a get ignore rule for dev Iggy local data. Right. Oh, wait, what is it? This one is bogus. Yes, that goes. But this one's wrong. It should not be 50-50. So we are listening on 5090. Yes. Okay, and really this should be coming out of the configs anyways. Okay, so it stopped short of async and threading. No, that's still good. Rust and Gleam. Interesting. Gets into custom types and custom error types and working with external crates and using modules as files. Nice. Okay, let's. These are both running. Cargo watch on that doesn't really work. Oh, it's already running. Hmm. I gotta take a look at Gleam. What? I'm curious. Whoa, it's a little bright. Oh, I've seen this before. I remember this the little star being so happy. What runs on Beam? The Erlang virtual machine? It can compile to JavaScript. JavaScript or Erlang. Those are two very different environments. Okay, generates TypeScript definitions. That's really nice. Okay, these are nice. How long has it been around? 2019? Hmm. I'm still stuck on targeting JavaScript or Beam. Like those backends are so different. And oh wow, lots of people. It feels very rusty and a bit go-ish. Go-ish, hush your mouth. It just looked go-ish, like the way that Go does their libraries. Okay, well, yeah, let's leave that open. I want to take another peek later. All right. Now, it looks like stuff is starting up, right? The app, which is Notes, starts up. Nothing's dying. So I think we're in a mostly okay spot at the moment. We should probably extract this out to some settings. Let's see. Data archive, build services. Okay. Membership service, add service, archive service. Is Iggy the go-to for Quick and Rust? Iggy is an alternative to Kafka or streaming services. Um, Quinn is what Iggy is using for Quick. I've heard of Quinn before. Um, Goodness, 3 million. It might be the go-to. Quinn is. Quinn UDP. Quinn. Yeah. And what is this? What is quick protobuf? Lots of things depend on this. It's just a protobuf thing. Well, that's pretty cool. I think I might need to get that set up. I've been looking for something that I could have the kids go through for Rust. Oh, wrong one. Okay. That's bright. How old? 9 to, let's say 18. Pour some more tea real quick. Just ran out. Should be no problem. Okay, cool. All right. I keep going to this screen. It's on. Okay, let's. What's my go-to is like the first tab or last tab. There we go. Going back here. I don't really feel like changing that at the moment. I'm really much more interested in getting into the VFS. Source lib. Here. Okay. Well, there is one. Good. I don't know about that. On the writer, notifies VFS when there are WAL changes. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Dojo Drummer. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see, is SQLite VFS module that notify? Okay. I would like it to not just be for write ahead logs. I think that's mainly what I'll target for this. But I want the possibility that it eventually works with other journal modes. It might be possible to implement the functionality in a non-VFS module free. No. I think about this all the time. Um, the ability to do this with just by just inspecting the DB. I don't think that it's really, really possible. I don't want to use Fuse. Not at all. It could be possible um, by watching wall log changes, but there's a moment where the wall log gets reused. Yeah, I think this might be the only way. Okay, so it might be possible, but only with wall logs. The challenge with the wall logs is that the index file, the .shm file, would grow, and you would have to control when checkpointing happens and force checkpointing. Okay. I think this is the fastest way. Like this could be almost fast using, oh, actually, hmm. Could you monitor the shared memory for changes? Does that work? Can you be notified if shared memory changes? Oh, okay, that's bright. Hmm. Which will trigger msync. You can add an iNotify watch. Ooh, but yeah, so msync is not going to happen, is it? Synchronize the file with memory map. No, see, the whole point of the shared memory file is to have something that things can, different programs can load up, but it never gets synced to disk. Oh, oh, let's see. Gleam uses the Erlang actor model, which you're trying to get your head around, versus the async 08. Yes, they are completely different. They are insanely different. I learned Erlang and Elixir and actually got code into production with it. That was years ago. But it took me 6 weeks of hardcore studying Erlang to really get my head around the ACTA model. I read 2 books. I think it's Programming Erlang and Erlang Programming. Ended up building a bunch of things. Um, Node Lua. I made like a Node.js, but for Erlang using Lua. Um, 13 years ago. There you go. Bunch of C, embedding Lua inside of Erlang. It was fun. Okay, but let's see. Shared memory. Let's see. Synchronized font. No, we don't want this. See, this will never get called. Okay. It might not be possible to do the optimization that I was thinking of. I think we just have to look at the .wall files, see that change. And there is a way to keep wall logs from rotating. I don't think we need to do that. Okay. Given that we are going to focus on this today, tracing it, yeah, tracing. I wonder. This isn't the same process as the other application. I almost feel like there should be a different way to log. Maybe a log would be best for our plugin. Because yeah, this tracing is broken. Okay, so we go through, we load the environment. This is not the way I want to do that. Okay, let's ignore that for now. We save a pointer to the APIs that are provided. Okay. SQLite, when you load a plugin, we'll basically call this. Interesting. We get a DB or not. No, I think we do. If we look at notes, it says, okay, here. Load our database and an extension. Now, this database, for us, it's not that useful, right? Because we're going to be loading the VFS as the default VFS for SQLite. Okay. Then we get migrations, and then what? Then we have a little. Oh, is that running at the moment? Oh, let's check that. Localhost. What is it? It was on 9090? No, that's Prometheus. Wait, we're on 8080? No. Proxy is on 8181. Okay. Oh, yep. Okay, last 5 nodes. Something in this way. Let's add a node. Okay. Hey, Mars. How are you? I need to add a dark mode for this. Let's add a dark mode real quick. Nodes. So we have index. Index. Okay. Fetch all. Wait. Ah, we have a template. There it is. That extends base. HTML head. Okay. How do we add style here? Let's check. It'd be better if you didn't have to be at work. I hear you. Okay. Well, we don't have to provide a language. That's fine. Yeah, I was thinking type. I've always had to provide type before. Well, I guess that's deprecated. All right. So going back to notes and blinding us, let's go to our style editor. Let's add a style. Body. Let's see. Background. Color is dark gray, maybe. No. Dark gray? How about nearly black? Charcoal. Does that work? No, I don't want to save it. There we go. That's just color. Mm, okay, that'll work. And how do we style this? All right. Inspect. Text area. Color. Mm, no. Oh, that's for body. I don't want that for body. I want this for this element. This is just text area. There we go. All right. Now I have dark mode for our notes app. Yeah, let's give that a recompile. Oh, okay, there. All right. So you can see that, well, yeah, let's do something real quick. So we see that we're connected to proxy, right? We're connected to the proxy, and we're going to add a note. This is a crazy, crazy note. And we add note, and it becomes white. Yes, who cares? But we can see that we have this is a crazy, crazy note. What happened? Right? All right. We can see that there were some VFS bits that happened. Now, the whole thing is not working. Let's just start there. Let's come back here, close this. Okay. So our proxy sent the request to the writer. The writer, when we submitted the new node, sent a message to the database. The VFS saw it, right, and output some text. Now, proxy at the moment, I believe, is, for the time being, just coming back to the writer. I think it can make requests to the reader. See if we reload this a couple times. It doesn't seem to be going to the reader, but that's okay. Because for now, we need this VFS detecting the change, sending it to data plane so that it can be applied and then sent to the reader. All right. We've got quite a bit of this already set up, but still we're roughing it in. Actors are beginning to appear on stage. It's exciting. Oh, the tea is hot. All right. Let's make sure we get our dark mode. Okay. Dark mode. Boom. There it is. Okay. Drat only limited to 5. Oh, look at that. It went to a reader. So yeah, the request actually went to one of the other readers. Now, in our dev setup, I'm not using Docker. It's too slow, right? I'm using Overmind, and you can see that it starts up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 programs in like a second, which for me is acceptable. So I hit Control C to kill it, run it. Okay, maybe it's like 5 seconds, but still. And I think we could get to the point where or we could try to have these automatically reload. Right? So at the moment, I use a just file to do the build. Oh, overmind. Yep. Good question, Sam. I'm using Overmind. Um, if you search for Overmind and Procfile, you'll be taken to Darth Sim. Um, if you ever want to find super useful tools, look for things that are built by evil Martians. Um, Overmind is awesome. I think Docker is way overdone, and like, why can't I just simulate the three machines on my one machine without having to load up Docker? Like, Docker's always too much for your use case as well. Yeah. All right. Yeah, this is kind of inspired by, oh, what was it? There was something before this. Foreman. Yes. I think Foreman is where I was first introduced to the proc file. Anyhow, Overmind is great. All right. So, I don't know what's happening there. Build OSX packages. Oh, that was for deployment stuff. Yes. Okay, yeah, we'll get to that way later. But we do a cargo build, we build the notes and everything else. All right, just in dev mode, nice and quick. Then we run Overmind, we have a dependency. Did it did it crash? No, okay. And I believe there's ways to filter down to a specific app. Right, with Overmind, if we go back, disabling port, running processes, blah, 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 start, specifying a proc file. Oh, interesting. Overmind sets the environment variable port for each process in your proc file. So you can do things. I have not read this before. Disabling port, okay. Scaling processes. Oh, interesting. You can set the number of each process instance to run. Hmm. Well, here you can connect to a process. I think that's what I was thinking. Stopping, killing. All right. Anyhow, going back here, go into the VFS. What does SQLite call the other journaling modes? Right ahead. This might be blinding. Let's see. Nope. Truncate mode, persist memory. Is it just their first journaling mode? Has a rollback journal. That's it. It's funny, rollback might actually be the easier one. All mode is the harder one and more performant. Okay. BFS. We have our lib. We initialized. We set x open to a specific function. SQLite file can safely store pointer to the file name if it needs to remember the file name for some reason. The file name parameter to xopen is a null pointer. Then it must invent its own temporary file, a temporary name for the file. Uh, I don't know that we support this yet. Yeah, yeah we. Our file, VFS file. Is this? We have this. Why are we casting that? VFS trace file. Da, 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 da. Okay. Hold on, let's go back. I'm refreshing my memory on this stuff. So if we go back one, do we have the size of the file to allocate? Or is it? Here it is. So the size of the file, of the structure, excuse me, the amount of memory that we allocate. Hey, how are ya? It's going to take me a moment to parse your name. Oscarolon? Welcome. How you doing? And if you have a pronunciation guide, just toss it at me. Okay, so the amount of memory that we will allocate for a file object is going to be whatever the default VFS says that we need. And it's pronounced Oscarolon. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So the default plus the size of our structure. Okay. So that's why we can cast it, because it's something, whatever this is, plus that. So we end up casting it here. Now, I think this ends up being pretty important. The order of things here. So the first part of our structure is the SQLite 3 file. And that's that's the part of memory that SQLite uses. All right. So here it has a pointer to these methods, etc. Okay. So we have that there. We have some other state, some other data here. And then we have our root file. Interesting. It's just pointing to some other P methods. Okay. So we cast it. We get reverb from the app data. So from our VFS, which is passed in here. Oops. I go pointing at things here. So we copy that. Why do we copy that? So our VFS not passed with other functions like, I don't know, yeah, delete. Now we get a VFS, VFS. VFS is here for all of the functions. And not sure why we pass that then. Because if we have our VFS for every call to a function method, should be fine. And what about for a wall? It's the same API. In this case, we just close the file. Oh, here. The VFS is not passed in. Okay. That's why we have to preserve that. So these xopen calls, open, delete, access, full path. Okay. Okay. These are not all file system related. Okay. We have delete, we have some file system related stuff, but it looks like the point of these is to be able to set up and tear down a file object. Right, so this guy. Okay. So we save this off of the VFS into our structure because it doesn't exist later. It does not get passed in, rather. What's the type of this? Oh, okay, it's just a C pointer. So we take reverb. We get the default VFS is what we call it. I wonder what the default VFS is used for later. So we call open on it. Okay. R is confusing me because it could either mean reverb or root. And I don't like the root idea here. Let's rename this to reverb. So we have reverb object, a reverb file, which is our reverb, the VFS file. Maybe we should rename that. Instead of VFS file, just call it reverb file or just file. There we go. So their root VFS, this concept of root, is in a lot of the example code. But in our case, it's the default VFS. Okay. So we store a reference to the reverb object onto the file as well. I wonder why. Let's go to VFS. Let's go to the wall. It's not used in here. Guess we might want it for like a global app stage. That's very likely. Okay. Back here. And what's going on here? So this code here is from the example code listed up here in the artifact. Is this correct? So our root file, whatever that means, is a SQLite 3 file. Ooh, that's bright. So we cast it to our type. And then on the VFS, we take we get the root VFS. Okay. We save the info, the name, and whatever this is. But why offset it by 1? Cast it to that. Okay. What is P? P is a VFS trace file. Huh. I think I might need to draw this out. Okay, let's come back 1. So here we have the size of the default VFS file, right? Plus the size of our reverb file. Let's go to monodraw. Now, where's the other monodraw? All right. So we have something. We have a chunk of memory that's allocated. Okay. Here's our memory that we're allocating. It is size of the OS file. All right. And that is the size of this. Okay. And then we have some more memory. Okay. Let's move that back out here. All right, so that's what we're looking at so far. And we cast the whole thing as a reverb file. Interesting. Because we say the first piece is a SQLite 3 file. And this is what SQLite 3 is going to be calling. Right? So that's all they know about. So we can do interesting things with that data. We have our state. Then we have the root file. I don't like the name root. So if we wanted to override a set of function calls, we would modify this structure, but we would want to keep a reference to like this as it is. This, okay, but this is a pointer. Well, it has a pointer in it to these p methods. Why isn't this just a pointer, just the p methods? SQLite 3 IO methods. Okay. So technically, this is in here. Oh, come on. Move backwards. There. What is repr-C? That means to use the C memory layout for the structure. You'll see this a lot with FFI code. That's what's happening here. We're interacting with something that's using the C standards for memory layout, calling conventions. It is. It is. This is so that you can interact with other code, C code. You can load C code. You can have C code load your code. And in this case, that's what's happening. SQLite is written in C, um, and it's loading a DLL, effectively a shared library, if you will. And our VFS is a shared library that is being loaded into the C program. What is CEF? You try to build a project with Rust and CEF? Huh. I'm not familiar with CEF. Chromium embedded for, oh yes. There are some nice interfaces for that. Oh, let's move away from that. Oh, what is that project called? Tori. So Tori is dependent on quite a few things. There's a crate that does some very nice embedding stuff for you. I don't think it's these, but it might be. Oh, interesting. Menu utilities for desktop applications. That's nice. I don't see it, but if you dig into Tori and see what they're using, it's just another crate. Oh, you're using this in a headless environment where you want to direct buffer from CF. Yeah, so I think, let's see, where's it? Tori runtime macros. Let's look at Tori runtime dependencies. Or does it say here? This module? No. Hmm. But I think that you could get access to the frame buffer. Here, let's go to their repository. Easier to see. Great. Project driver. Cross-platform WebDriver for Tori applications. Wraps the native WebDriver. What do they use? Cargo. Hmm. Fascinating. I don't see it. Ah, here it is. Right. I imagine that you can get access to the frame buffer as well. To the WebView builder, you handed a window. And what is this window? Event loop create window. Okay. That's probably exported from something else. Create window. Hmm. Using WinInit. Create a window. I imagine there's some way to get it with WinInit, and then you can just pass the window to the browser, do whatever you want in the browser. Scale factor. Windowing system. Maybe not. Rejar requested. Oh, wait, here. Yeah, you just need this buffer. Self-test surface. Was there a surface? Anyhow. You just watched a show that's going to occupy your mind all day? It was. What do you think a roller coaster full of deaf people would sound like? Oh, oh, interesting. All right. Oh, back to the blinding example code. Okay. Back to where we were. We were looking at. I'm going to get that off the screen for a moment. We're looking at this. So that's in the top of our memory. Right? It's more accurately like this. More data. This is more data. Okay. Default VFS. Fine. And why is that here instead of where it's going to be used down there? Can we just move that down here? Unless we're changing something. Default VFS. Doesn't look like it. Okay. So we get reverb. We save that. Got it. But this one here, the root file, the real file, the reverb file, offset one. Does this seem right? This doesn't seem right to me, but it's working. I know it works. So we have a pointer. So we have the address of P. So we have a pointer to P. We go the size of P 1 over in memory. And we call that a SQLite 3 file pointer. I'm not grokking it this time around. I'm going to stare at this code for a little bit. Let's see. Dark mode extension. I don't know. Dark reader. Ah, this is the one I remember. Man, I hate plugins. Access browser data tabs and access your data for all websites. Like, really? Into toolbar. No, not customized toolbar. Manage extension. Permissions. I was hoping I could choose just the sites to add it on? Hmm. Oh well. All right. Dark mode, yay. Oh, here maybe. sqlite.org, on, off. Configure automation. Figure website toggling. Let's see. Those both off. Website toggle keyboard shortcut. Alt Shift A. There we go. So we receive, going back to this, a chunk of memory. SQLite thinks that it's already one of these things. And a SQLite 3 file is what? Now they're passing us a pointer to this. Funny. Okay. So they're passing out a pointer to one of these things, a SQLite 3 file. Okay. Changing it to their type, which is a VFS trace file. And you can see it has the base. So it's a pointer, right? And then it has this. Right, must be first. Got it. The state, right there, they have the VFS, some state, and the real underlying file. Okay, go back. No, just reload. So that has to be first. Got it. Because that's where SQLite's going to be calling, right? Okay, set some state. Now this is the piece that gets me. Where are they going to the next piece of memory over for the real piece? What was their? And they point that to this. Why? Does it think that it's what is the size of that struct that it thinks it is? So P, what is P? P is VFS trace file. So we're going outside of that chunk of memory? Because that's the next chunk over, right? So P, right, it's a pointer. We go one over, get the address of that, cast that, and that becomes real. And then we pass that to the xopen on our VFS. That's the default VFS. And then, is this just going to a chunk of memory so that it can be initialized? What does xopen do on SQLite? Okay, let's documentation. Okay, open um, xopen. C API OS interface object xopen. At least a size of OS file bytes of memory are allocated by SQLite to hold on to the file structure. Passed as the third argument to xopen. Xopen method does not have to allocate the structure. I should just fill it in. Ah, okay. Note that the xopen method must set the SQLite 3 file p methods to either a valid blah object or to null. Okay, so SQLite allocates some memory, calls xopen, right, which happens to be our function, and then we call xopen, calling the actual implementation. Okay, let's copy this into our code so future Halsey doesn't get caught off guard. Okay, SQLite expects that the SQLite file.p methods element will be valid after xopen returns, regardless of the success or failure of the xopen call. Oh, interesting. Okay, I don't know that I did that right. Okay, so let's document what's happening. Interesting. This song is no good. Let's go back. I can't go back. I wanted to thumbs down the last one. All right. Anyhow. the section of memory that SQLite will use when calling file functions. I kind of want to, let's see, the actual SQLite 3 file that was the this could be right next to it. Why did we put this at the end? Does it have to be at the end? I don't think it does. Yeah, that could be anywhere. We could have it right next to this one. The real underlying file. I like the term of underlying. Real is so much quicker to type than underlying. Underlying, I think, says more. And we call it root. I guess actual. What else? Let's rename this. Proxy file, underlying file. Let's bump this up here. Okay, and then we have our state. Oh, oh, I see. This here. Um, and because we allocate this and this, like memory enough for both of these, right? Reverb file has all of this, but there's a chunk of memory at the end. Okay. Yeah, let's update our image. So like 3 file. Proxy SQLite 3 file, done. our data, then we have another one of these that is the underlying sqlite3 file. But this happens to be, let's say, done state, done. As this whole block is, say, where is it? Where is it? Not there. We want X open. Here. Let's comment this out. Hmm. Try that again. Fixing the ASCII art. Da, 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 da. There we go. All right, so we have a pointer to underlying SQLite 3 file. Underlying SQLite 3 file. So this is the underlying SQLite 3 file. Okay. So we have a reverb file. Let's call it the proxy file. Now, reverb file has a proxy file in it. Okay. Reference from the global app state to the global app state from the VFS. Oops. Okay. Hey, how's everyone doing? I absolutely missed the raid a moment ago. And welcome. How was your stream? So we're currently working on Rust. We're building a virtual file system for SQLite. The idea is that we're creating a SQLite replication using custom VFS that we plug into SQLite and use it to replicate data from one machine to another. Yeah. Let us know if you have questions. I'm reasoning through code I wrote quite a while back and adding comments this time. Let's see at this point, what is happening? So this is the code from the example, right? Code reference here. And in this case, default VFS, we are initializing the underlying file. Giving it the memory located after reverb. Okay, this is what the memory kind of looks like. Oh, no, let's get rid of one of those. We need a space right there. There we go. Okay. Well, the good news is it all looks pretty nice. Now, something that we did not do correctly is the code. Let's see. Note that the xopen method must set the sqlite3 file p methods to either a valid sqlite3 IO methods object or to null. Okay. So if it fails, we must do that, which I don't think we did. So in the event of an error, we need to set the reverb file p methods to null. Oh, proxy file. That's right. Uh, we have to, yeah, okay. Equals null. Is that here? Center pointer null? There. Expected struct. Oh, proxy file. Dot p methods. Okay. Mismatch types. Mm. All right. Good. So now that's correct. We're setting that to null if there was an error. I feel better about that. Okay. Save more properties for later. File name, file flags. Oh yes, we need these in order to reopen a file. A wall log. Oh, no, that's not right. What do we need these for? Do we just store it? Oh, here. Open file. Hmm. Looks like we have the ability to close and reopen files. That's probably because of the wall log. The wall log needs to do that. Okay. Save properties so that the wall log can be recreated. Okay. Oh, mutation FIFO though. Should we have this? Why wouldn't we just do all the pointer dereferencing and use it where it is? To save on pointer dereferencing? That means we have to keep all of these up to date if it changes. By doing this, we're basically saying you can never change. All right. I think we should get rid of that. That's gone. Reverb, state, mutation, FIFO. Okay. Or it could be like an arc, right? Why wouldn't we just use an arc? Hmm. Probably need an arc mutex, actually. There is some natural locking with POSIX and FIFOs. It's only up to a certain size of write, though. So technically, you don't need to lock around a FIFO to write to it, even if you're writing from multiple places, because the operating system handles it for you up to a certain point. Let's just get rid of that. Okay. Root file. What was root file before? Was it underlying file or something? Hmm. I don't know. In VFS, we're in this file. Oops. Hmm. Should probably commit this. Yeah. File. What was root file? Oh, this did not get updated. So root file is now called reverb. What? No. The order's all wrong. All right. Let's look at the other file. File. Root file is now called underlying file. Got it. Should be here. Result should be reverb file underlying file. This here. Proxy file, which was reverb file. We have underlying file, which was root file. The type did not change for either of those. We're checking to ensure that it's null. See, this is exactly the same thing. Oh, we change it. I see. Okay, so yeah, it's shadowed. That's why. Let's undo, undo, undo. Okay. Now this reverb file, it's used there. There. All down this. Okay, got it. Wait, and what is file? Oh, that's what's passed in. Oh, and this is reverb file. This is at the very top. Okay. So this needs to stay, and this needs to stay, but these other reverb files should be something else. This is underlying file. No. These are, oh, this is proxy file. Okay. Underlying. Oh, no, it's reverb. And this is underlying. Okay. Mismatch types dot. What was it before? Just proxy file. Proxy is correct. Yes. And this is strange. Why would we set that like that and just instead of just setting, where is it? Just setting it here. Because file was already converted to this. So we could just call it reverb file. So this is reverb file dot, hold on. Oh, it's reverb. That's right, it's reverb. What is reverb here? It's a pointer. Okay. Oh, we don't want that. We want reverb file. Reverb file. Why is proxy not there? Proxy file. It's right there. Reverb file.proxy file. It is. That should be the same thing as dereferencing file and setting p methods on file, because proxy file is the same chunk of memory. Okay. Okay. There are some errors. No root file. Oh, I forgot to write all files. Let's clean up some of this. Root file methods. methods. Read, write. Oh, these are all titled root. Ooh, okay. Luckily, there's only like 20 of these functions. So hopefully I spell them all correctly. Almost there. Done. Okay. That's better. Hmm. I don't know. This should be default VFS. Okay. All right. That's better. Let's go up to the top real quick. Search for root. Save references to the default. That's okay. Cannot move out of that, which is behind a. Really? We're doing the exact same thing here. Oh, wait. This. Hmm, why? Is it because of the parens? It's because of this. There. Okay. Root file. One more. Let's see. Will it blend? What lies? It finished building. That was much too fast. I don't quite trust it. All right. Wait, it created those again that quickly? That is very quick. How did it? Hmm. All right. Let's run it. All right. Ah, here's our app. Hit reload. Testing. One, two, three. Add note. Okay. And it worked. Lovely. Well, that's nice. Ah, favicon. Oh, let's check something real quick. Just for fun. Where is network? Two milliseconds? So it renders the page very quickly. Negative 1 milli. That okay, Chrome. No. Something. Let's add something to the database. How long did something take? Post. 5 milliseconds. Okay. And this is in dev mode. Okay. Oh, shoot. Give me a sec. I'm going to set you on mute for a moment.